Hello everyone, I have a hair story, I have a shoe unboxing, and I have a brown skirt that needs to be finished. Welcome back to the Nora Show. First, hair. I have had a huge hair saga in my life. I am post-perm. This perm ended up being a little more aggressive than I wanted. She was more concerned about watching the clock than my actual hair. I may have fried my hair. I am not at all worried, at all. So whatever this becomes, I can manage it. This is the tightest perm that I have ever received. I don't think any sane person probably should have put that tight of a coil into my hair. Although, from a straight hair perspective, like level 1 straight, this is fun. This is new. You normally don't get to explore and experience the variety in which the human body can display itself. So this is an opportunity for a lot of fun. I do have enough experience with my hair that I know that I'm verging on torched hair. So it would be much, much better for me to leave it alone as long as possible before I try to do anything with it at all. So if my hair is like this for a little bit, that's why. Because we practice smart hair care-ish. Because if I was smart, I wouldn't have done a perm at all. But that's beside the point. Anyway, shoes. Again, as of the time of this taping, I am not big enough for anyone to actually be sponsoring or giving me gifts or anything like that. So this is 100% me going, ooh, dead stock, ooh, my size, ooh, shopping cart. Oh, I have silk stockings, 70% silk, 30% nylon, and if I remember correctly, I got the ones that have the a design work or clocking of some sort. I'm gonna have to check those out. Oh, I love this. Ooh, shoot, I love that they come with replacement heels. Oh, I'm excited. Okay. Oh, I know that I don't have anything to wear with this yet because I don't think that this color is going to match the dress that I actually need shoes for. But these were so pretty and I love this color so much. I will make something to match this. Oh. I'm just gonna set this here and marvel at this beauty. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Okay, let me see if I can get this. The coloring, okay, and here they are. This is the best lighting that I can do. That's pretty good. It's a sage green, but it's a very rich sage green. You can see that heel. No tread. Coming down. I don't think that this is going to be a problem at all. I like the angle that this is looking. I think this will do well over my heel. Isn't that just lovely? Okay, I'm not going to actually put these on because if I do that, I'm going to end up taking entirely too much time on the shoe today, and I'm not going to get to sewing because I need to get to that right now because my mornings have been spent with the distance learning that we have been slammed back into again, which takes up a lot of time and it's very difficult to figure out when to actually sew and do video and whatnot. I have about an hour and a half of sewing before I need to go to the school for the sewing club there that I'm helping out with. So these are going to have to go to the wayside and I get to play and put these on at a later date. And my goal is that I sew something to go with this beautiful green. Maybe a little black dress to go with this so that it really makes these shoes pop and this becomes the focal point. Oh, I love this. Okay, time to sew. All right, let's deal with my disaster. This is the pattern that we are dealing with. I rather messed up because I misread the pattern that I actually drafted, had the plan, my plan was correct, and when it came to actually putting the pattern on the material, I got it wrong. Let me show you what I did. Let's first deal with the back of the pattern. The back of the pattern is correct, completely correct, but when I did it, I ended up putting it on the fold and not giving myself a seam allowance, which resulted in me having to do a very close to the edge seam and then a zigzag to make sure that it didn't fray open. It was a salvageable mistake, but one that shouldn't have happened. This should have been cut to, like it says. I mean, I genuinely put the instructions there, and I completely just, I'm gonna do whatever I wanna do. All right, so I was able to salvage the back. The back is not a problem, and it's not going to be something that I need to alter any further. Let's deal with the front. This pattern, the whole thing, where you ignore this and pretend that it is completely taped together and that there was nothing slit right there, is the side of the pattern that has the adorable half moon closure where the buttons come through. The idea here is that I was going to take, and this part would overlap the under part of the skirt. This to here, that's my low hip. Everything below this is actually less width. This is the biggest width on my entire body, and as long as all of this up here can open up enough to get over the hips, the rest of this doesn't matter. So the idea behind what I was going to do here, because again, there are no directions on how to put any of this together, so your guess is as good as mine. So the idea that I had was that this would be one side, and that this was the other. This would overlap at the stomach section for the buttons, and I would probably put another little closure or a snap or a hook right here to keep this from shifting around, and that this part on this side would actually get sewn to the other side of the skirt. That's no longer happening. I don't have enough material to do this. I am now going to draw a midline for where the dead center of where this is going to land. Seam allowance, midline, this is the extension for the 5 inches and the 6 inches at the bottom with the dots folded in with the hip curve. And I'm going to say that's about as good as it's going to get. Okay. All right, that's the midline. So no matter what happens, I need to remember that this is where my belly button is, and that if I have anything off center, this needs to be respected. All right, this is the midline. This is the other side of the skirt. This needs to attach with the seam line. I'm not going to fold that under so it's not bulky. Okay, seam line, seam line. Now that actually looks right. The idea now is that this gets sewn straight down. Most likely, I'm going to take this and trim that out after the fact. I'm not going to mess with that until everything is said and done. I will serge that, trim it, or whatever. I don't like bulk for no good reason. All right, now let's deal. So this makes sense. This is the part that I need to deal with. This little cut that I did, that is, I'd say, a full inch higher than where my lower hip is landing. This might make that last little bit, trying to get that to fit this lower hip area, very difficult, if not downright uncomfortable. A smart woman would know how to use all of this excess fabric to gain enough ease to get that up and over, because I have it. So now I'm going to stare. So now I'm going to stare and think some more. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the back of the skirt. I'm going to sew the sides. I'm going to pretend for a moment that this is a wrap skirt, which it could be. Not a fan, but I think that's what I need to start with, because I'm not entirely sure where this is going to land. This is now fiddly, that's for sure. Totally fiddly. Yeah, I'm going to sew up the sides first, and I'm also going to sew in the front part of the invisible waist thing that I still don't have a professional name for, because that's really not the top priority that I have right now, figuring out what the actual name is. I just need to do it, and I'll figure it out later. Let's see what I can do in the next hour, because that's getting very close to drop point for me. Okay, so. I have redrawn due to this mistake, this line up, the bubbles are now different. I'm going to sew along here, flip it inside out, trim along the edge, flip it the correct way, iron the heck out of this. I'm going to wait on top stitching until I figure out what I'm doing here so that I can maybe provide a continuous something. And I'm going to try to get the sides attached to the back, and then we'll see where we are at. Okay, I'm not going to be able to salvage the bubbles. It's just not even worth it at this point. None of this is going to look the same. But if you notice, I could probably do this skirt now, simply because of the way I've accidentally cut everything out. Fine by me, I'll have this skirt instead. It was one of the skirts I liked anyway. So what I'm going to do, these bubbles did not come together well, and this isn't going to iron out very nicely, and I'm getting done. So, meh. No, this was not the correct way to put this together. I will have to fiddle with this again in the future. I think that these bubbles are just straight up too small. I also think that when taking a look at this pattern, see this pattern, how those circles are bumped up next to each other? I suggest actually spacing it just a little bit so that you can do a front and a back flip and have enough room in there that you can actually flip it inside and out. See? So this is what's going to happen. This is now the front of the skirt, which now looks like that skirt. Look, see, huh? That'll work for me. Let's make it happen. This one has a smaller opening and also a jog in. So what I'm going to do now, as Watson watches the squirrels from the window, is lay all of this out and figure out how I can make this all close together. Because except for the part that I cut this out wrong, this is actually pretty darn nice. So let's see what I can do, and I'll let you know where this lands in the end. I've got the brown skirt done. 1935, brown linen. And this is not the skirt that I was planning on making when I drafted the pattern, and this is the skirt that is the result. I am having trouble remembering a time period in which I have made a plan, it was a good plan, followed through with the plan. When it came time to actually execute the plan, my subconscious decided to do just something else. And that is what happened at every critical step in the making of this skirt. So I feel very lucky that I have a skirt to put on right now. This is my first bias cut. I have to say that I love the bias cut. I get it now. Although I do think that, I'm not entirely sure how this happened. I've already taken this in about 4 inches now. And I think it's because of the way the original skirt that I was supposed to make, the way it was overlapping, and that I probably gave myself too much ease, and I don't think that I followed my cut lines very well. So, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to wear this skirt, I'm gonna love this skirt, and I'm gonna thank my lucky stars that I ended up with a skirt that I can wear. Let's go lower now and look at the shoes. Huh, dog hair. It's all picking up all the dog hair. I need to vacuum. Huh. I absolutely love these shoes. They fit like a dream. They actually fit my ankle. I've never had boots that went above here and actually fit before. I have always had to avoid them because they never fit. American Dutchess did a phenomenal job. And apparently this one really likes the dog hair. I need to vacuum apparently. Okay. Aren't these just the prettiest shoe on earth? Oh, I love this. Okay, everyone. Until next time, go be creative, be amazing, drink your water, and go create something beautiful.